So thank you for joining us. I'm going to give a short explanation of the song I just shared. This is a brush dance song in English, Mela in our language, Yurok, and it's so protecting our future and being in harmony with our elders of the past and continuing the legacy of sustainability, survivance, an inherent relationship with creation. That's what this song embodies, what I embody through my emotions when I'm singing during the ceremonies that we still hold to this day. So I'm going to pass it now to Kinley to introduce everybody.
Good evening, everyone, or good morning if you're listening to us from another part of the world. I'm Kinley, President and CEO of Parks California, and I have to say, honestly, that that was one of the most special beginnings I've ever had to anything that I've done, on camera or off. So I'm trying not to be emotional as I kick us off tonight. I want to acknowledge first the ancestral land that I stand on here tonight at Patrick's Point State Park, and that is of the Yurok people. And when I'm home in San Francisco, it's the Ramadeh Ohlone. I think it's important for us to acknowledge those things as we start to reconnect to nature and to the lands throughout the state of California or wherever it is that you're listening in from tonight. Good evening. Look at this beautiful place that we're in tonight. Patrick's Point State Park here in Humboldt County. And what we're going to talk mostly about tonight is Sumeg Village, which you'll see behind me and that will tour you on throughout the evening. Welcome to our first ParkSpeak event. We've done a few Facebook Lives, but this is the first longer format. So thank you for your patience and bearing with us and just listening and learning along the way as we are. It's such an honor personally for me to be here and for us as an organization of 6 people who are working across the state with California State Parks to have this be our kickoff. You'll be meeting, as you did a little bit earlier, Skip in more detail and Victor, who are 2 incredible people and who are doing amazing, innovative things when it comes to partnership and healing. I want to get started soon, but I want to just remind you that there are a couple of functions that you're going to look at logistically on your screens. There's a Q&A function at the bottom. I think we're all getting to know these virtual ways of engaging more so than ever. It's been tough times. You can ask us questions. We are going to take time to answer those questions later on. You can also chat with us. What I really want to know is where you're all listening in from. When we did our Facebook Live events, it was really exciting to see, of course, that we had representation across the state of California, but we also had people as far away as Vermont, my home state. So thanks for anyone listening there tonight, and Arizona. I always give a shout out to my mom. There she is. Thanks, Mom, for all the support. And so please tell us, and you may hear a mystery voice from behind the camera saying where she's hearing that you're all listening in from. So over time, we will start telling you that.
Great. We have San Diego, Nipomo, Long Beach, Los Angeles, Sacramento, even Arcata, just right down the street.
Fantastic.
And Connecticut.
Yay! All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Really appreciate it. Parks California is the statutory partner, nonprofit partner to California State Parks. What that means is we work statewide. There are 280 California state parks in this gorgeous place. And we work with wilderness style parks like you see here, urban parks like Candlestick and LA State Historic Park in different parts of the state of California. We work with parks that tell stories, and that's part of what you're going to hear tonight. This opportunity to learn something perhaps that you've never heard before, that you've never learned before. And we work on things that strengthen stewardship. We focus on equity, we focus on access, but we're really here as an organization to amplify these incredible partnerships, to amplify this amazing innovation that's happening statewide, that's happening in these public places that you get to visit. You have to do it safely. I do want to mention you're going to see us here tonight without masks. We are maintaining our distance. We'll walk you through the park, but we'll be trailing each other at 6 feet plus just to make sure that we're all okay. But we really wanted to be here with you together to tell these stories. Tonight's the first in a series of the virtual ParkSpeak. So again, I'll encourage you at the end to join us at the upcoming events in September and October. And we plan to keep these going. So we loved your feedback. That's why the chat function is so important. I want to just talk for a minute too. This is something that we have to say. Parks California is here to support California State Parks financially as well. You can donate to us at parkscalifornia.org. That donate button does create money that goes back into California State Parks that amplifies, again, these kinds of partnerships, this type of innovation that you'll be hearing about. Also, all proceeds from tonight for almost 2 weeks, about 10 days from here on out, will go back to the local cooperative association for Patrick's Point State Park, which is Redwoods Parks Conservancy. So thanks to them for all the amazing work that they do caring for this park as well. We wanted to make sure we shared what was in tonight. So I'm going to be joined by two amazing people, Victor Bjelajac, District Superintendent for North Coast Redwoods District, and Skip Lowry, who opened us up tonight, who is a state park interpreter and is of Yurok, Mountain Maidu, and Pit River descent. Again, we're together, we're maintaining separate, but we're so happy to join you and bring you on this journey and let you learn and take away some inspiration and find your own passion in the stories that you're hearing tonight. Victor, I'm going to turn it to you and ask you to tell us more about this beautiful place and the work that you do here.
Thank you very much, Kinley. Thank you very much, Skip. I am Victor Bjelajac. I am the district superintendent for North Coast Redwoods. North Coast Redwoods is one of 21 districts in state park system. It's an assemblage of 22 state parks. The geographic range is from the Oregon border down south to Leggett, California. It's amazing to be here. Sumeg Village, reconstructed Yurok Village. Work started in 1988, finalized in 1990. Work guided by Yurok elders. Skip, as a young man, got involved in this. And I'm going to kind of run down the stats for this area. Where we are now was traditionally referred to as Sumeg, the entirety of Patrick's Point State Park. And Patrick State Park is comprised of about 652 acres. There are about 124 campsites, 32 picnic sites, 4.3 miles of coastline with vistas like Wedding Rock, Palmer's Point, Agate Beach, Rocky Point, and we have a cultural feature here that's purpose-built, and that's Sumeg Village. There are 4 cabins here. There's camping available year-round. Patrick's Point is located about 30 miles north of Eureka, and it's a special place. Sumeg Village, there's contemporary cultural practices that are here. This isn't something that's lost in the past. There are indigenous people, and Yurok specifically, who practice cultural beliefs and practice healing. Skip is going to be talking about reconciliation. He's going to be talking about healing. These are really special times that we're in right now. Across the entire world, we're suffering from a pandemic. It's brought a lot of people bound to one place. It's also brought a lot of reflection. We've had events happening in the United States that have made people take to the streets and give voice to some things that they'd like to see change on. We in parks, we have voices that need to be amplified. When you think about Sumeg Village, we have 3 indigenous interpreters who work here, Maya, Skip, and Princess. It's some of the most meaningful stuff that I'm able to engage in. And I'll leave it with that, and I'll turn it back over to Skip, who's going to share a bit more. So we're going to be strolling around here a bit, and it'll give you an opportunity to see some of the beautiful features that we have here.
Thank you, Victor, very much. Thank you. That was a awesome introduction from both Hadley and Victor. I appreciate this so much. And one thing that's like, I'm just learning about Parks California and their goals of inclusiveness and diversity, and how that's their overarching, like their ethics, their morals, that's where they're coming from. And so it's just a real big honor and a pleasure to be included now in the storytelling of this village. So Yurok people have been here since time immemorial. That means beyond memory, beyond human memory. We have creation stories that tie us specifically to our places. So when you think of parks as a place to go visit, it's a good idea to think of the stories about the people who have been inherently connected to that place since beyond memory, and who are still existing today, attached to those places, devoted to those places, honoring those places, learning from those places, enjoying those places and spaces, and sharing those places and spaces appropriately and respectfully. So the Yurok Tribe is the largest tribe in California. Pre-contact, there were 1 million+ Native Americans in California, in the Aboriginal territories of California. And sadly, there's like 210,000 of us. And so we represent 2% of the population of California. Of that 2% population, Humboldt County and Del Norte counties, where we're at, North Coast Redwoods districts, represent about 13% of that 2%. So we have a large population of the survivors of America's genocide and people from their place. It's tough to talk about. It's emotional because, you know, my family, my dad's a boarding school, his dad's a boarding school survivor. And so my dad's a product of the boarding school trauma, the physical severance violently at times between people and place, people and language, because your language oftentimes in Yurok culture, it reflects the place more than what you think of it. It tells you about it and you learn about it. So sensitive topics that we're covering that have never been covered here at this park. And I'm not sure I've ever been to a state park where I've gotten interpretation that challenges the idea that Native people were like primitive and we're in the past and we're gone and we just got to get over it. And now I'm part of finally sharing our perspectives, that story. So it's just, again, ParkSpeak is such an awesome thing to be a part of right now. I sang a song earlier, I'm gonna sing it again. This place, Sumeg, is special because it was built for the purpose of healing. It was built for the revitalization of a culture and a community that was, again, violently oppressed by the state of California. Legislation, American governmental legislation targeted and oppressed our people. And there's still structural shifts that need to happen to get that the proper and respectful inclusiveness and diversity in our leadership of the state, so that we can further this type of healing across our state and maybe even inspire the rest of the nation that could then inspire the rest of the world. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank the opportunity to be here to share this. So the living house here is made out of redwood. Redwood's considered the heart of our people. And in 1990, they were completed by 2 groups of Yurok men, but they need repairs all the time, like the hazel lashings. This is a sign right here. You talk about, you can't date our people. The engineering and the knowledge of resource relationship to actually burn the landscape, to create the type of length of plant that you need, the harvesting time, harvesting method, and then the actual turning it into rope, the process is super sophisticated, high-tech, state-of-the-art metal. We use fire to cut. Tools were often used to chisel the burnt part, and so it would take time. You would put your redwood. They're very important. I personally got started on my career path by volunteering out here. I heard there needed to be repairs done. So thankful I listened to this lady at the time. She said, there's work going. Just came up and volunteered. And I worked really hard. And I met these 2 Yurok men, these elders. And they liked how it worked. You know, I listened, I soaked it up. I appreciated them. When you work with old-time loggers and these type of folks, man, they don't ask you to do anything. They tell you what to do, and you better do it and get it done. And so they invested so much in me that 1 week, and I accepted it and put my effort, my best effort back into the project. Then 2 weeks later, I got word that there's a job position up here. And your elders said, use me as a reference. And so that started to tie the engineering, to the village, like, has never happened.
Hello, everyone. Bear with us. It looks like we lost our connection with our people in the field. So we'll be right back in just a moment. Sorry about our connection issues. I'm gonna show the images again while we're waiting for our connection to be restored. But if you guys do have any questions in the meantime, please feel free to pop them into the Q&A or the chat, and I will do my best to answer those questions. My name is Kyle. I'm also an interpreter up in the North Coast Redwoods District, and I've spent quite a bit of time with the interpreters up at Sumeg. I just realized I will not be able to see your questions while we flip through the pictures, but this might be more interesting. We had a comment as well that this map is actually incorrect. So let me see if I can annotate this for you guys really quick and show you where the park actually is north of McKinleyville and south of Crescent City, kind of right in this area here, a little bit north of Trinidad. That's actually more the real location of the park north of Eureka rather than south of Eureka. Looks like we got Sumeg Village back on, so I will go and get back to the program. Thank you guys all so much for bearing with us.
Good. All right, welcome back. Thank you. Here I am. Sorry about that. So I'm gonna reverse just a little bit, and I'll start with talking about, again, thankfully now is the time, and our players, leaders that are honoring that there's a story that needs to be told, a perspective that needs to be told, and can only be told and honored by the people of that community, of that culture. And so Indigenous voices are often not overlooked or talked about by somebody else, and often misconstrued, and there are a lot of misconceptions and fallacies and false narratives that are written by non-native people about us. And that's the mainstream public education system that I remember going to school and learning. I didn't learn anything about California Indians, and I knew a lot about California Indians being one. And so right now it's awesome. We're in a special time and place, and we have the leadership in the right places to bring these stories to everybody, like in this format, technology, allowing people to come visit the parks and seeing Native people in their place, in their space. Other Native kids coming here and seeing Native people in this getup and in this career path is game-changing. It is life-changing. It is social justice. It is healing, rejuvenation. So these are some of the words that I think about when I think of Sumeg. Now, I'm just coming from a male's perspective and a male Indigenous man's voice. I'm really excited to say that I work with two other interpreters who are female, Yurok cultural, raised grassroots in our culture, are also employed as interpreters now at Patrick's Point State Park. So you're not just gonna get the one side of the story here. You have the opportunity to get two different perspectives that honor cultural worldview of Yurok people and how we understand how we're supposed to talk about our culture, who's supposed to talk about it, when, why, because there's actually times of the years we're not supposed to talk about certain things, times of the years you are. So it's really neat to have this development of this Indigenous crew here. So I'm gonna walk now, sing a song and walk, and finish up at the dance house over here. Ay, ay, whoa, 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 Iowa, hey, Iowa, oh, hey, oh, Iowa, Iowa, hey, Iowa, Iowa, oh, Iowa. Iowa, hey, Iowa, hey, Iowa, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, Iowa, Iowa, hey, Iowa. Iowa, oh, Iowa, Iowa, hey, Iowa, hey, Iowa, oh, Iowa, oh, 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 oh. So again, that's a healing song, helping song. To protect the future of our people, that spirit of that baby, in connection with the legacy of the elders that have passed on the traditions and have fought and survived, and that inspire me. So we're at a dance house. The song that I sing goes with the ceremony that we hold here every year. Yurok culture survives and thrives at this special state park. And it is a unique opportunity that the public is able to come and observe respectfully our cultural, something that is older than time, older than memory, and exists today with the purpose of healing and building community and bridging relationships, not walling them up. I was 10 years old sitting over there learning about my own culture. So this place is really special to a lot of Native people, a lot of Native kids that, again, go through the public school system and don't maybe get the education that I was blessed to get. My dad's educated, my mom's educated. They both have degrees, and so they inspire that into me. And that's why I want to inspire everybody else that can see what we're doing here. Native communities out there right now, you can do this too. Like, this is just a little path that we've blazed a trail towards, and you guys have the possibility to follow it and broaden it and create your own way trails into the areas that you guys decide, because that's what sovereignty is, right? Self-governance, self-determination. But it's always nice to have something that inspires you, something you can see. And so this place has always inspired me to be better for my community. When I show up here, I try to be the best I can be for not just my Indigenous family and community members, but for all of the people, we say, ha let mani, that walk around here, that are walking around here on this place. And all the animals and the insects and the birds and the trees and the rocks and the water and the mountains and the ocean and the tides. It all has like place and purpose and meaning, and we are relearning how to be in a sustainable, healthy relationship with the other beings that call this world home. So I'm gonna end now, and I appreciate you guys sticking around through that technical glitch, and I'm gonna pass it over to someone who inspires me every time I get within distance of him, just not 6 feet. Victor.
Thank you very much, Skip. Think of the opportunity. It's like I'm standing here and Skip has allowed me to be here and sharing what's going on. When we think of California State Parks, I think of what my job is, and it's for the protection of cultural resources, the protection of natural resources, and giving people an opportunity to experience them. To allow or facilitate for Indigenous voices to be coming from this special place, amplified by Parks California, is incredible. I'm in awe. I stand here, I listen, I watch. I'm grateful to be here. We think about organizations, and you think about big structures and government entities and federal government and state government and nonprofits and large and small. And it's all composed of people. And those people develop relationships with other people. It's been an honor for me to be able to work directly in government-to-government relation with Yurok Tribe. We've been able to establish a joint powers authority for joint operational facilities. We have support for bringing on Indigenous interpreters and Indigenous folks to greet the public, to share what they can and what they will with the public. And it's some of the most enriching work that I've been engaged in my professional career, my professional life. When I look around right now, socially distanced, I see these people who are friends, who are colleagues, who are partners for a bigger mission and a bigger purpose. To be able to share worldviews and not automatically go to better than, worse than, but different is huge. I've come in contact with a lot of people who are gracious and humble and wise. And it's just a special pleasure for me to be able to listen and somewhat amplify that. For me, it isn't a big job. It's giving people opportunities, and people are flourishing in this environment. And I thank you for your time, Skip. And I'm going to turn it back over to Kinley at this point, and we're going to follow up with some questions.
Well, I want to say first, I'm going to turn to Skip, who's again just to my left, and say thank you so much for teaching us, for teaching me something that I hadn't heard before when we first met a couple of months ago, and for letting me hear it again tonight, and for speaking truth, right? For being brave enough to go into this relationship and this partnership, and to bring us on that journey is really meaningful. So I'm really grateful. And thanks again for making me cry in the beginning too, as I had to kick us off. But it is, this is a special conversation. And Victor, I was going to say that I'm very inspired with this partnership and the work that you do in this district, but I want to reflect too on it's about people. I've had a chance, over my life to work in many parts of the world, and it's always about finding what we both believe in. It's not about what makes us different, or it's about saying, even though we are different, we have things that we both care about that drive us. And for me, again, just that this was the first conversation we're having in this way, that I can be in the park with these two amazing human beings, again, in some small way, just helping to amplify what they are doing on behalf of themselves and on behalf of this broader group of people, this broader system, right? It really says to me that we can believe in a different future, and that we can all be a part of telling these stories in the way that feels authentic to who we are and how we grew up and what we know to be true. So, so I say, again, heartfelt thanks to both of my friends here tonight. And we are going to go to Q&A, but I just want to give a couple of reminders. Parks California is here to bring money into California state parks so that we can continue to support these kinds of partnerships and projects. ParksCalifornia.org, you'll see a donate button. Near the donate button is a section that has notes. And if you write that you watch Patrick's Point State Park tonight, we are going to share anything that comes in tonight for the next 10 days with the cooperative association that works here for this park. I want to read the name to make sure I get it right. And it is Redwood Parks Conservancy. So thanks so much to them for all the amazing work they do here. And we wanted to share in what comes in tonight to show the appreciation for this beautiful space and all of the support that they give. I also want to remind you, you can go to parks. Cal State parks are open, but you have to do it in a way that's safe. If you go to parks.ca.gov, you'll see information by park and also broader information on how to recreate responsibly. There's also a separate website called recreateresponsibly.org. And both of those places will tell you how to be here and how to be safe and take that moment we all need more so than ever for not just our physical health, but our emotional, our mental health. These are difficult times. Get outside. It makes a huge difference. I'm forever grateful that this is the job that I get to do every day and that this was my Thursday. We're going to go to Q&A. So I think we're going to have another mystery voice talking to us and asking questions, and I will make sure they get directed to the right person. So why don't we do that now?
Hello, I'm the mystery voice from Parks, California. Thank you all for being here tonight. We had a lot of fantastic questions come through. We will do our best to get to all of them. A lot of great questions for Skip. So we're just going to jump right in. Skip, can you hear us okay?
Yes, you sound great.
Okay, excellent. We had a few questions come through about the connection between hazel and how that was processed, as well as the other natural resources used to make the structure. Can you speak a bit to the hazel specifically?
Sure. Yeah, that's good that someone knew it was hazel, because I didn't even say the word because I was trying to keep it a secret. No. Hazel lashing is what we use. It's the same hazel that our Northern California women use a lot of times for their weaving. So if you go into if you've happened to be in a museum and unfortunately seen some of items locked in cases, the ceremonial caps that are known for Northern California weavers, those same sticks are used in there. What's cool that I've learned about this hazel here is that it has to have fire. And so right now there's like 47 fires in California right now. They're out of control there, and they call them wildfires. And traditionally we had cultural burns, and you listen to the plants and the animals and they'll tell you when and why to burn. And then you will benefit from that as humans. And so there are scientific things that are just figuring out that the native people knew what they were doing when they were doing their controlled burns. So the hazel lashing for the houses needs fire. It needs cultural worldview perspectives on how to burn it, when to burn it, why to burn it. And then you'll be able to have the hazel grow in the area to make it into rope. If anybody knows anything about hazel, if you plant it out in the middle of like a field, it doesn't grow long and straight. It's a tangly bush. It's really, really bendy. And it has the hazel nuts that we can do the hazelnut bread, and coffee creamer comes from California hazels. It'll grow into a tree, a little bushy tree that'll fruit. To have the rope, you have to have a really good understory cleared out. So you have to have tall trees, big trees with canopies. And then the small hazel bushes that get burned respond to the fire in a way where they're like, they're in relationship. So they'll know, okay, I got to grow hard, strong, and fast. And they will shoot and reach for the holes, the sunlight coming through the overhead canopy. So without overhead canopy and clear understories, it's really hard and difficult to find the hazel that grows to the length in the straight way that you actually have to manicure or tend, just be in relationship with fire and that plant and the other surroundings, and you can have the rope. To make the rope, you actually have to have fire too. I don't know if you go cut a hazel tree down, try to twist it, ain't gonna happen. You have to hit it with fire in a specific, unique way, and then twist it into the lashing. Great question.
Thank you. That was really incredible. I think we lost you, Skip, just right around when you were explaining more about the structure, and particularly the doorway at the bottom. And we had a few questions about how that doorway is used and how the building itself is used.
Cool. So the house we were in front of is a living house. Now this guy right here on my patch is a grizzly bear. They are extinct now, unfortunately. Overhunted. The relationship between humans and their place and their neighborhood was severed, and they haven't been revitalized yet, the California grizzly bear. So our houses, I spoke a little bit about natives were not primitive. We're not primitive. We are super smart, sophisticated. We actually harbor the most sophisticated natural resource management systems and relationships to date, like BLM, Forest Service, California state parks, national parks. They're just learning. They're just babies compared to the time frame that Native people have in being in a relationship to this place and to all of the places in California, because every place in California had a name. There is no place in California that didn't have a Native name, that wasn't used, that wasn't known, that wasn't in relationship with the people of that place. So the house is a form of technology, not something that humans invented, something that dates back again, time immemorial. That design comes from the creation. When creation put us here to do the balancing that humans have the responsibility to do to keep this place in harmony, the house design was like purposefully given to our people too. So we didn't like evolve this design of this house. It was a specific, inherent, purposeful way to use the heart, the redwood tree, and to protect your family so that you can keep in relationship. So it's grizzly proof. The house is like designed to be grizzly bear proof. The little round door, that's a form of indigenous technology that predates memory. We knew about the anatomy of the grizzly bear cannot fit through that door. They cannot lift their arms above their heads like humans, so they can't lay down and crawl in. They have that hump on their back, so their head and their body cannot fit through that door when they're full grown. Technology, we had it, and we had it in a way that didn't pollute. You know, all of our bowls and plates, they're 100% organic, biodegradable. You know, we weren't littering, and we were here for 10,000 years. So the house is a testament to the ingenuity and the sophistication of the indigenous people that were here, part of this place forever, and will always be here forever. And so, yeah, I guess that would be, yeah, sorry it cut out, but if that answers the question.
I think that was fantastic. And you know, we have so many questions here. We might have to figure out another way to get more of your time, Skip. But for right now, I know we're approaching the end, so we'll end on one last bigger question, and I'm happy to open it up to all of the panelists. But folks are asking, what are really the next steps or goals for moving forward with a partnership between the Yurok people, state parks, and Parks California?
That's a great question. One of the things that we do when we enter into relations with people is we look for opportunities. What could we do to amplify protection of cultural resources, the sharing of cultural worldviews, the sharing of positions within state parks? I would feel satisfied if some point there is an indigenous person in my position who's making decisions on hiring. Once we integrate community, we become a healthy system. Our state park system is supposed to be reflective of the peoples of California and the population of California. It's one of my goals to have state park system in North Coast Redwoods reflect local communities and local populations. We have relationships with tribes up here. We have government to government relations with tribes. There are 15 different indigenous people that are from the area that have state parks in them. That's called North Coast Redwoods. And what we do is we continue to develop those relations. And where there are opportunities, we give people the benefit to compete for those opportunities. I see our relationship getting stronger. We have a joint operation of a visitor center on Stone Lagoon with the Yurok Tribe. We have funding coming for interpretive function coming from other entities as well as the tribe. Where we can benefit each other, where we have a strength, we give that to community. Where community has a strength, we welcome that in. So I think it's looking for those opportunities, and it's not looking far. It's looking up and looking around at local communities, and that's who we want to engage with.
So I think it's time to wrap up. I want to say thank you so much to everyone being with us. Heartfelt thanks again, Skip and Victor, for being here tonight. For all of you for joining us, for dealing with our technical difficulties. This park wouldn't be as special if it wasn't in this place and hard to find Wi-Fi and carry around a battery pack. And if you could see what's happening behind on the other side of this, you would all have a good laugh, is what I would say. This was a really special opportunity for us at Parks California. Again, we're here to amplify voices, to stand for these equity opportunities, to find innovative partnerships, showcase them, and help scale them. So in answer to that last question too, we're here to help scale this type of work statewide across the state park system and beyond. So again, I'm Kinley. I'm with Parks California. I'm forever grateful for the time tonight with my guests as well. And I'd invite you to join us again September 24th through La Purísima Mission. We'll be coming at you with some more amazing stories and some of the work that's going on down the Central Coast. Good night. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.